Let's get to the Gold Coast, speaking of which, and there's 7 AFL clubs now domiciled in Queensland. What an extraordinary season. One of them is Essendon, who arrived today on the coast. John Worsfold, the senior coach, joins us. Woosha, welcome. A fortnight is a long time in football. You've gone from wondering if you were going to have a team to having a pretty good one at the moment and some momentum into the hub.
Yeah, absolutely. We always knew that this year was going to throw up various scenarios and challenges along the way, and we've just been coping with everything as it's happened, and as quickly as we can, and put as much thought into how we can best prepare the team to play each week with taking everything into account. And obviously, that included the week where the players had to go into home quarantine for 3 or 4 days after we missed the Melbourne game. So. It's challenging, but in a way, it's we're enjoying the challenge of stepping up and preparing as well as we can.
John, we saw a vision tonight of players from whether it be Geelong or anyone in New South Wales having coffees and walking near the Harbour Bridge. What can and can't you do in your time for the next 14 days in Queensland? Can you actually leave your hotel?
Only for training purposes, so that's the only reason. We can't go out and exercise off-site, go for a walk. Certainly not wandering out to get coffees or anything like that. That'll all be done within the hotel, within what we call our hub area. So we're still actually waiting for full clarification for where we're based here at Southport. We've got the hotel has a gym which is open to the public, so we can't use that. But there is a gym as part of the football club which is isolated to our use. So we're still wondering whether we can use that at any time or only in our allocated gymnasium times.
Woosha, how many did you take in the travelling party, and how did you decide on that number?
In terms of the players, we only left 5 players back in Melbourne. They're all guys that are coming back from serious longer-term injuries, and certainly wouldn't have been pushing up for selection over the next 5 weeks. So obviously a player like Jake Stringer, Paddy Ambrose, and a couple of the young players. That one that's recovering from a knee reconstruction, and a couple of other foot injuries that are still a long way off. So the rest of the squad came up, so 42 players along with the staff that were required up there.
I'm not sure if you heard the commentary, well, you wouldn't have heard it at the time, obviously, on Friday night from Bruce McAvaney and Brian Taylor about Jake Stringer's body shape. We'll quickly play it now.
Well, we're being harsh by saying, he's done everything right, but he does look big, doesn't he?
Look, I personally think, Bruce, he needs to train with the group. I know other players have done it, but he needs a little bit more coaching than perhaps others.
You're saying he hasn't got a six-pack back there, is that what you're trying to say?
He definitely hasn't got the six-pack going at the moment, Duck.
So obviously he's got syndesmosis now, but do you agree with those comments? Did you have an issue with Jake Stringer's body shape?
I don't have an issue with his body shape, no. We're all built differently. We've got some little fellas running around. We've got our big guys. We've always celebrated that the game of AFL allows for all sizes and all shapes to play a role in our game, and in a lot of cases different ability levels depending on what type of player you are. So Jake's got a role to play within our club and within the team, and he's been performing that role really well for us so far this year. We're so disappointed with his injury on the weekend. Our absolute focus, as with Jake's, is to recover from his surgery and be available, ready to play with the team again as soon as possible. But he has a different body shape. I always think we should celebrate that. We'll assess him on his output and how he performs for the team. But also, I would like to add that he had an outstanding pre-season. He worked extremely hard. And we all got affected through a massive downtime layoff with the COVID strike. But other than that, Jake's works extremely hard to get himself in best nick to play his role for us.
Woosha, Australian life is full of challenging succession stories. You're going through your own at the moment, and you're 5 weeks in essence, or 3 months in, I guess, in a weird respect. How would you rate its success so far, and have you enjoyed the change of focus for yourself, particularly on game day?
Yeah, look, I am enjoying it, and it was partly through necessity in a way that it was in all likelihood I was going to struggle to stay in Melbourne much longer than this year. It was a big commitment to make 3 years ago, and it's getting tougher year on year. So I'm fairly confident that as we got towards the end of this year, unless something else drastically changed, I was going to be heading back to Perth. So full credit to the Essendon Football Club and Xavier Campbell, the way we've worked really openly and honestly with each other from the moment I told him that my family were moving back to Perth, and we made a commitment to each other that we wouldn't leave each other short at any point throughout any season. So when we had that discussion last year, this seemed like a really good and honest way to keep the momentum going that the Essendon Football Club are building. So Ben will no doubt bring some different stuff to the way he wants to manage the team as senior coach. All I'm doing at the moment is letting him learn from some of my thoughts and also opening his eyes to other possibilities of the way things have been done in the past, how they could be done in the future, and may challenge his views on things. But overall, I'm really enjoying mentoring Ben in that way. And, at this stage, Ben's really embracing it and seeing it as a great opportunity for him to take a pretty strong role coaching the team throughout the week and on match day, while still having, someone who's been around the game for a long time to support some of his views and also take some control of the group when it needs to happen. So, when things come up like what we've faced in the last couple of weeks, I can draw on all my experience in some of these situations and help guide the group through that, while Ben can just focus on, how we looked at our kick-ins or how our stoppage structures may have been looking.
I know a club on the way back to Perth, another capital city, Adelaide, a bit closer than Melbourne, that could do with some help at the moment, I reckon. Would you consider stepping in, as you have before at the Adelaide Crows, if they asked you to take over a director of coaching role there next year, helping out Matthew Nicks?
Look, I'm really not sure. I have no concrete plans for anything full-time next year at the moment, but I will be working next year, so that is a given. I'm looking forward to finding a new job and a new role to play somewhere. If that's in the AFL, which I love the AFL industry, so I'd love to be still part of it, but I'm not actively considering those things at the moment. I'm flat out at the moment trying to work out how we best prepare for Saturday night against the Kangas, and then what the following week's going to look like after that. So a lot of that stuff for me is not front of mind and not a priority right now. That there's plenty of time for me to consider, what 2021 looks like down the track.
Will you senior coach again, John, if the opportunity presents itself?
Yeah, again, I can't really answer that. I would consider any opportunity, but it would depend on where it is, what my family situation is, and whether I think I'm, the best person to go into that club's current situation. So suffice to say that down the track some point, whether that's at the end of this year, I don't know, it might be 18 months away, but I would always be open to considering those opportunities, but without saying I'm going to be desperate to jump back into anything that gets presented.
John, good luck in the hub. It'll be a challenging but rewarding time, no doubt, for Essendon, and we wish you well.
Thanks very much.
John Worsfold, the senior coach at the Essendon Footy Club and a significant figure in football, and maybe, just maybe, another chapter to write yet, Caro. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the program.